This video is about the inspiring story of President William Samoei Ruto, currently the President of Kenya. So kindly watch the video and be inspired. He went to primary school barefoot, wearing his first pair of shoes at age 15. He also sold chicken and groundnuts by the roadside in rural areas of the Rift Valley. So it was no surprise that he portrayed himself as the champion of the poor as he vied for the presidency in the 9th of August election. Mr. Ruto contested it under the banner of Kenya Kwanza, Swahili for Kenya First, with a promise to grow the economy. Mr. Ruto joined politics in 1992, having been mentored, he says, by then-President Daniel Arap Moi. Mr. Ruto was part of the youth wing of Mr. Moi's once dominant KANU party and was among the activists tasked with mobilizing voters for the country's first multi-party elections held in the same year. He is a powerful orator who drew huge crowds at rallies and performed strongly in media interviews. He often starts speaking by saying, "My friend," which helps him build rapport with voters and disarm critics. Shifting alliances. After holding various ministerial posts, including education and agriculture, he rose to the deputy president after the 2013 election. Mr. Ruto contested that election as the running mate of outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, shocking many Kenyans as they had been on opposite sides of the political spectrum in the previous election. It was an alliance of expediency, as both had been charged by the International Criminal Court, ICC, with crimes against humanity after being accused of fueling violence in the aftermath of the heavily disputed 2007 election, in which about 1,200 people were killed. In that poll, Mr. Ruto backed opposition candidate Raila Odinga, who has lost to him this time, while Mr. Kenyatta backed then-President Mwai Kibaki in his re-election bid. Their alliance, dubbed a bromance, paid off as the two men swept to power, putting them in a solid position to stave off the threat posed to them both by the ICC, something they achieved when the prosecution dropped charges against President Kenyatta in 2014 and judges threw out the case against Mr. Ruto in 2016. Mr. Kenyatta, and Mr. Ruto were a formidable team until they fell out. However, their alliance broke up in 2018 when Mr. Kenyatta, in yet another stunning about-turn, reconciled with Mr. Odinga, dashing Mr. Ruto's hopes that the outgoing president would endorse him as his successor the current election campaign. The president's allies accused Mr. Ruto of insubordination, an allegation he denied, but he acknowledged the rift by saying that he and the president see politics differently. However, Mr. Ruto remained in office, courtesy of constitutional provisions securing a deputy president's tenure. In the current election, Mr. Kenyatta campaigned heavily for Mr. Odinga, saying Mr. Ruto was untrustworthy and could not occupy the land's highest office. Mr. Ruto hit back, saying Mr. Kenyatta wanted Mr. Odinga to succeed him because he wanted a puppet president. Throughout the campaign, he portrayed himself as a hustler, fighting what he regarded as the attempt by two of Kenya's dynasties, the Kenyattas and Odingas, to hang on to power. Prominent landowner and keen farmer. Ethnic loyalties play a massive role in Kenyan politics. Mr. Ruto comes from the third most prominent ethnic group, the Kalenjin, which has produced only one other president, the late Mr. Moi, Kenya's longest-serving ruler. He is, without a doubt, the political kingpin of the community. Mr. Ruto is married to Rachel, who he first met at church youth meetings. They have 6 children. Their eldest son, Nick, was once blessed by Kalenjin elders, fueling speculation that he was being groomed for a political role, while their daughter, June, works in the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Mr. Ruto is passionate about agriculture, which has seen him venture into maize, dairy, and poultry farming. He owns enormous parcels of land in western and coastal Kenya and has also invested in the hospitality industry. Mr. Ruto has been linked to corruption scandals in government, and the source of his wealth is the subject of much speculation. In June 2013, the High Court ordered him to surrender a 100-acre, 40-hectare farm and compensate a farmer who had accused him of grabbing the land during the 2007 post-election violence. He denied any wrongdoing and appealed to voters with a promise to give them opportunities to improve their lives, just as he did. Despite his opponent filing lawsuits opposing his win, the Supreme Court upheld his victory. As a result, Ruto is now the 5th president of Kenya. Lesson. From his story, we learn that it is essential to remain calm and focused on what you want to achieve in life while maintaining discipline and hard work. We should also remind ourselves that a supreme being protects us and sees our struggles. Therefore, we should never give up regardless of how poor our backgrounds are. For more videos like this, kindly give us a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe to our channel.